Today I want to talk about Street Fighter 6, the highly anticipated sequel to the Street Fighter series. The fans have been waiting for this one for a pretty long time now, but the wait is finally over. I didn't even really know how long it's been since a new Street Fighter game released, but according to Steam the last game came out in 2016, so yeah, it's been a pretty long time. I'm gonna be honest here and say that I don't really have all that much experience when it comes to fighting games. Whenever I try to play fighting games, I usually just end up playing a couple of games and then never touch the game again for about 2 years. But I really wanted to make a review of this game because it's been such a fun experience so far. Let's start off with the most important part of the game right away. What actually surprises me most about this game is that it actually runs well. I mean, we have been going through a bit of a shitstorm lately when it comes to releases. And I don't know exactly what is going on in the gaming industry right now, but it seems that Capcom is the messiah in these dark times. Now, like I said, I'm not that familiar with fighting games as a whole, and I probably only played Street Fighter a handful of times in my life, but I am going to do my best to compare this game to the previous title, which from my understanding is a game that disappointed a lot of fans. So the first thing I want to say is that I think the graphical improvement here is a pretty big deal. This game looks so much better than Street Fighter V in my opinion. I mean, just look at this comparison. Street Fighter 6 is just very nice to look at, and in every match I just find myself just taking it all in, you know. The backdrops for each level create such a nice atmosphere and it already makes the game better for me. And that's just because Street Fighter 6 knows what it is and it knows what it wants to look like. The result is a game with a great art style that looks beautiful, at least in my opinion. And I think that this Steam review from the previous game sums it all up pretty well. I'll be real, this game in its final and complete state is actually pretty good and mostly better than Street Fighter 4. That said, just move on to Street Fighter 6 instead now. Mechanically and artistically, it seriously feels like Street Fighter 6 is the game that Street Fighter 5 should have been from the start. Now of course they also added new characters. You've got GP, Marissa, Manon, Lily, Kimberly, Jamie, and Luke. The rest of the characters will of course be old characters from previous titles, except they have never looked better. Now one of the best additions to the game, at least in my opinion, are the new modern controls, which pretty much make it easier to do special attacks. I know some of you already consider using modern controls to be a sin, but hell, I don't care. The difference between classic and modern controls is the fact that you don't have to pull off combos by doing a combination of button presses. You now just pretty much get to hold the R2 button and press another button on top of that to easily do special attacks. So let's say you're holding R2 and pressing the triangle button while still holding the R2 button. That will pretty much make you do a special move, which is just a very accessible system for people who are new to the series or just fighting games in general. I just think it's great to use and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Or just learn the classic controls. Either way, it's all here and it's all great. They also added a story mode this time around with a little open world that you get to traverse, and it's actually kind of similar to the Yakuza franchise. So yeah, you're pretty much playing Yakuza Street Fighter. Again, the story mode is another thing that I really like. It's goofy in a good way, it's funny, and most importantly, it's not boring. You might say that the writing is a bit cringy at times, but it's supposed to be cringy. You know, it's supposed to be goofy in nature, it's supposed to be funny.
Time to explain. Stay away from me, got it? You didn't see me, just get out of here! Hey, you uglies! Over here! Get back here!
Hey, punk. You know that guy? You got something going on with him? Man, whatever.
And I actually think it's all pretty charming. And before you know it, this happens. Now aside from all this, you also get the hub area where you get to meet up with other players and fight each other, or maybe you'll just head over to this little area and play some classic Street Fighter. Of course, there's also a ranked and casual fighting mode for you to just go to directly. There's just a lot of stuff here and it's all just really fun. I really don't have many complaints about the game. The only complaint would be this. Now as you can see, the game is running in slow motion and it's an issue with frame rate. I'm playing on a gaming laptop and my laptop probably isn't able to handle these busier areas. And to be honest, I haven't really seen a lot of people complain about this. I only saw a couple of people in the Steam community tab, but I am just giving you guys a heads up just in case. I've also only encountered this issue in the story mode. Honestly, I've been pretty addicted to this game. Every match is just a great adrenaline rush and the banger soundtrack really complements that. The game is just an absolute banger and I highly recommend it. So, is Street Fighter 6 worth your time?
Hell yeah.